Hello, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're back. Today we're going to be breaking down the trade that I took on Monday, August 26th, 2024. We're going to be talking about why I took the trade, all the confluences that I had coming into the morning, and how you could probably find this stuff at home because it's super simple. Just going to pair a couple things together. So let's get right into it. First things that I did coming into the morning on Monday was just observe where we are. Overall bullish, very bullish coming into the market and in 2024 in general. But I had a PD array to work with and frame a model off of, so I'm going to be using that PD array. In this case, it was a daily fair value gap. So I framed my model off of that daily fair value gap. The NQ at this current time, on Monday, was not trading into that daily fair value gap, so there was a huge bearish SMT, so I knew there was going to be some room to the downside today. It was just a matter of playing your cards right and seeing what's going on overall. Now, just zooming into the 15-minute chart over here, let's get into this price action over here. We had a lot of equal highs setting from the previous week, where it was Thursday, and the Friday afternoon session coming in here, we had a lot of equal lows, and the London session right here, we were just ranging. So I came into the morning understanding that this range right here was our accumulation, setting us up for anything that was going to happen into our New York open session. So in this case today, we drew the swing up into the external buy side level and this internal level of the range, manipulated into it, and then got displacement out. So let's take a peek at the 1 minute chart and kind of see all of those variables happen and how they interacted with each other, and how you could probably see this at home to take a high quality setup and take profits just like I said. Okay, so coming into the morning, I'm looking at all this price action and we're just chopping. My goal is just to mark out all of this, is outline your chart, highs, lows, external draw, internal draw, and everything in between all that. Now, coming into 9:30, when I know a lot of volatility is coming to the market, I'm anticipating some type of Judas swing into these levels. In this case, we took out the 5664 level and the 5669 level. And after that, we found some type of bearish displacement. Now, we're already anticipating that there is going to be bearish price action in a daily fair value gap for the sell side. It's all about when it's going to happen, and you as the observer need to come into the market and be free for both sides and know that you cannot react or make any plays unless XYZ happens. In this case, it's going to be always starting things off with an external and an internal model sweep on starting a sell model or a buy model. So we push up into this level up here, we find displacement, and this last swing right here is in an internal stop raid. This is our 1 minute turtle soup, and this instigates everything that happens after. You cannot have a trade without these two things happening, and that's exactly what we did today. We waited until the turtle soup happened, and once we displace below this local low, see we have this high, lower high, higher high, lower low, creating a market structure shift. This is our bread and butter 2022 model. Today, we were actually working with a premium PD array. That PD array being the volume imbalance. You don't see a lot of these, but when you do, you should obviously respect them because they don't come out for no reason. Now, the difference between this and a fair value gap is it only requires 2 candles, and you can observe them being created when there is a gap between the closing price of the previous candle and the opening price of the next candle. When you see this price signature right here, it is basically just like a 2 candle fair value gap. You can take trades based off of this volume imbalance. And that's exactly what we did. We noticed that there was a market structure shift. We usually like taking these shorts off of a fair value gap, but in this case today, we got offered a volume imbalance, so I'm going to be trading with that. Everything else already happened. It's just plugging in the last pieces of the puzzle and being able to be flexible enough to react off of everything that you know. So for my super advanced ICT students that are watching this, you just knowing what a volume imbalance is and knowing how to trade it is already giving you an edge in the market, and you should be really proud about that. There is a fair value gap entry that is offered off of the volume imbalance, but if you're super sharp, you can basically take this 9 times out of 10 and it really do good work for you here. So coming into this, we took the short off of the 5662 level, and then we found our displacement, fair value gap. The next thing that I'm going to do is find all the supporting bearish PD arrays that are going to support price moving lower. So in this case, I like marking out this order block right here. And why this order block in particular? Well, this was the lowest low candle that we had that closed below the market structure shift. So this in itself is one price leg. So for me, I obviously love trading OTE. We OTE'd here straight to 50%, respecting that as well, and then moving lower. Well, this candle that also formed that low is also going to help me later on when the market moves below it. Sorry, a little confusing there, but we got to figure it out. So I'm going to be marking out that open of that candle and then observing the bodies of the candles that print after it. So as long as things are closing below this order block and not attempting to move higher, and also respecting the SIBI as well, I'm comfortable with holding on to this position. And notice from here all the way down, very, very smooth. A little bit of time distortion here, but as 10 o'clock opens, we do get a really, really nice 10-point trade on a mini that's $500, more than enough for most people out there. And on two, you're making $1,000 off of that. But for me, I did have a bigger range target in mind today. Just because of the SMT and the daily SMT that was shown. I always know that there's going to be a little bit more movement, and what I've been doing in my trading regimen and world every once in a while, not every once in a while, but what I've been doing a little bit more is learning how to trade the daily range and how to anticipate more expansion and just back testing that. And then as of right now, I'm currently forward testing it. So what we did here is we went ahead and swept our first TP, taking 10 points. We're always going to scale out there. We always want to take something and reward ourselves from being a good trader and finding that good setup. So there's never going to be a time where you shouldn't be taking partials. This is not guaranteed that it's always going to move down here. We very well could have, moved higher. I'm not a market maker. I'm just observing what I see. I know that 9 times out of 10, this is a guaranteed target for me. So for those who are having struggle with conviction and holding for this whole entire play, work on those base hits one part at a time. This is your first stage of delivery right here. This down here is your second stage of delivery, which there's also a model here, but you have a really, really different type of risk that you have to assume coming into the second stage. So it's, you always can wait, you can get out, you can get back in, you could just hold through the whole thing. Everything to one zone, you know what I mean? And today I scaled off 5 of the 15. Then after that, as we moved lower, I scaled off another 5, and I'm marking the same things. I'm looking at everything that's going to support price action moving lower here, such as this fair value gap here. I didn't know that the fair value gap here wasn't going to get traded into. However, I was going to mark it out and be open to see price trade into there. We have another premium array, this being the volume imbalance that we created as we displaced lower of the sell side liquidity. And why that's really important here is that it's basically showing us here that it is so weak that we can't even trade up into this sell side imbalance up here, the SIBI, and we just want to move lower, and we're reacting off of this imbalance. This is also a low, 745, not a super prominent low, but it is a low nonetheless, and we are starting to reject it as well. So when I'm pairing all of these things in my head, should I feel super confident that we're gonna, blast all the way up here? Well, no, because nothing out of all of this, what is this, from 10, let's just say 10:10 through 10:25, so out of this 15 minutes right here, nothing told me that we were going to move higher. Yes, we did chop around a little bit, but if the overall direction is supporting that we are moving lower, you guys need to do yourself a favor and just take a seat back and de-risk from your position. A lot of people don't like taking partials and they want to take this full 30-point trade. And once you get to that skill level, by all means, get to that skill level and be able to do that. I would be very much proud of you. But for people that have human emotions and are newer to trading, I can understand how you can be super emotional holding 15 contracts going all the way down here, especially when the market has, was chopping out over here, moved down, started chopping again. You don't know what's going to happen. So for me, I love calming my nerves. I love taking a piece of the pie, bag $500 here, take another $500 here, take 4 off over here. And then after that, I let my contract run. Leave a runner. get experience with leaving a runner, because those are the things that are going to make you money in the long run. Whether it be an extra $100 or $200, that stuff really matters. What you need to be focusing on more is managing your position and tape reading in general. If you can tape read, you can manage your position, but you have to be disciplined and not just adding contracts and doing the smart, basically just being smart and playing it smart. So this is why I took my trade. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I have a live commentary over my tape reading during this session where I talked basically the whole entire time on why I was taking this trade. So if you guys want a little bit of a longer video of the full trade here, I'd be more than happy to actually post that. Just let me know in the comment section below and I can try to get it out by tonight. But sorry for all the procrastination. Back on the grind. Just took that last week off because we had a lot of federal news. But we're here and we're here to stay. We're going to keep on getting better 1% every single day. Appreciate you guys for stopping in as always. And love you guys. Have a good day.